Section 1.5 is called linear equations. In this section, you will be finding zeros and x-intercepts. Zeros are those places where the y value is 0. In this particular equation, at -1, 1, and 2. And since I have more than one item, I'm putting my answer in these little curly braces. The x-intercept are the places where, again, the y value is 0, or where we cross the x-axis. In this case, they're the points -1, 0, 1, 0, and 2, 0. Now, as you can see, they're exactly the same points. They're just written in slightly different ways. Zeros are just written as the x-coordinate, and the y-intercept is written as the entire ordered pair. Now, the work that you do in this section is going to be just finding zeros and x-intercepts. And again, they're those places where the y value, or the function value, is 0. So to find the zeros of this particular equation, just replace the f of x with a 0. And then we're just going to solve for x. First, I'm going to bring the 3x over to the left-hand side and change the sign when I cross the equal sign. And then I'm going to divide both sides by -3. That's going to get rid of that coefficient in front of the x. Sorry, that's a negative. And my answer is just going to be x equals -10/3. Now, here's a slightly more difficult one. But to find the zeros and the x-intercepts of this, I'm going to do the same thing. Set f of x equal to 0. And now I'm going to solve for x. Now, there's two ways to do this. One is to do it just like I did the last problem, except then I have a fraction to deal with. The other way is to get rid of that fraction. And I can do that if I multiply everything in this equation through by 5. In other words, I'm going to multiply the 0 by 5. I'm going to multiply the 4/5 x by 5. I'm going to multiply the 8 by 5. And when I do that, the 5 times the 0 is 0. Here, the 5 on the bottom and the top will cancel out, and I'm just left with 4x. And the 8 times the 5 will give me 40. I get slightly larger numbers, but now I don't have any fractions to deal with. And now I'm going to solve it just like I did before. I'm going to move the x term over and change the sign when I cross the equal sign. Divide by the coefficient, which in this case is -4. That gets rid of that -4. Simplify the right-hand side, and I just get x equals 10. So in this case, the 0 is just 10, and the x-intercept is the point 10, 0.